I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that in the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only James Williams, Dog Waters. I have to ask that you forgive me for the stuffy nose. I have been flushing my nose out trying to get rid of this mucus and these allergens, and it's not working. But nonetheless, the show must go on. And Jimmy Kimmel comes on live last night, and the leftists go crazy again and shoot up an ICE facility today, killing 2 people at the ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. You know, it's amazing because Gavin Newsom just came out talking about authoritarianism and threats to democracy yesterday. And they all keep running with their same talking points, but it's leftists doing all the shooting. It's leftists doing all the killing. It's leftists that was convicted yesterday of trying to assassinate Donald Trump. I mean, every time it's a leftist. And the Democratic Party is the party of extreme violence at this point in time.
Approached the suspect, who then apparently...
Some serious news. A Fox News alert reports say 3 people have been critically injured at a Dallas ICE facility after shots rang out this morning.
Police responded to calls around 7 a.m. local time. Agents reportedly approached the suspect, who then apparently shot himself.
Let's go to Griff Jenkins in studio with some of the information that he's learning. Do we have Griff?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Lawrence, Ainsley, and Brian. This is what ICE fears most, and that is an attack on them. Fox can confirm through ICE sources that there was this attack this morning at the Dallas facility. Shots were fired into the sally port of this facility along the freeway there in Dallas, and the ICE confirms that the shooter is down, a self-inflicted wound, and that 3 individuals have been hit. Their condition unknown. We're continuing to try and learn more about this as you look live here and can see the tremendous law enforcement response. But ICE telling me in no clearer way that they call this, quote, a clear attack on ICE. Now, this comes as we have seen a more than 1,000% increase of assaults on ICE officers. And now this morning, tragically, we're learning that this shooter apparently fired indiscriminately into the sally port. Unclear whether ICE officers or detainees or who may have been injured, but at least 3 individuals have been shot. The shooter is down through a self-inflicted wound. We'll bring you more as we get it, guys.
Griff, just working back some sources back and forth here. And by the way, this information is very fluid, but from what I'm hearing from my sources, this happened as they were unloading some of these detainees when the shots started to ring out. Are you hearing the same thing?
That's exactly right, Lawrence, and that's why I mentioned that Sally Port. So apparently it occurred when detainees were being brought into the Sally Port. This shooter, we're not sure exactly where he was located, but was able to shoot into that Sally Port and struck at least 3 people. That shooter now is down from this self-inflicted wound, so we may not know exactly what his plan was, what they were intending to do, other than to shoot people this morning at an ICE facility. We're learning more as we get it. And particularly, we're interested, obviously, in learning about the conditions of the 3 individuals that were struck this morning.
Yeah.
You know, the plan of the individual shooter, it's a terrible event. Let me say this. And that means somebody's family member whose law enforcement got shot. But see, it's not about the plan of the individual shooters. It's about the overall plan of trying to get everyone and their mama to pick up a gun and start shooting at law enforcement. It's the same thing that was done to black people during George Floyd with Black Lives Matter. You see, there has to be these events where you keep the rhetoric going, and then incidents happen, then there's copycats incidents. That's the danger of allowing these people to behave this way. It's the danger of allowing them to gather outside of the ICE office and protest every day. They need to just be arrested. And then the thing is, they'll say, oh, well, you violated my civil rights. I'm just out here peacefully protesting. So now we got people who quote unquote peacefully protesting, and then a shooter comes in and mixes in with them. Nah, bro, you're going to have to whack them people across their head and arrest them. I'm sorry. They're just going to have to be dealt with. It's the reason why Antifa they cannot be tolerated at all. So Antifa comes to a place that has to do with ICE facility, or Antifa shows up around police, they need to be bust across the head as a terrorist and drug off. Because as long as you give them this gray area, as long as you leave them space, they will take advantage of the space and do some wickedness. The devil comes, the word of God says, give no place to the devil. You can't give these wicked ass demon people a place. You can't give them space in our society. And the problem is we become too damn tolerant. We are so tolerant that they murder and shoot and rape and kill people while calling them intolerant, and everybody does anything. The society is too tolerant of devils and demons. I'm sorry. We're too tolerant. We're so tolerant that they can put Ace Hardware in their entire face and run around and scream and holler, and everybody's like, oh, don't worry about it. They're crazy. They can run up in old people's faces as they go to a march and scream and spit on them, and nobody slaps the piss out of them. We're too tolerant. I was saying this to some of, I don't want to say their names. I was saying this to a set of our friends who, they are old school gays. Not LGBTQ. They're old school gays. And I was telling them I was afraid for them. And it was like, well, what do you mean? I'm afraid for you because you're a black man in society. And this, I said, no. And so I'm afraid for you guys because we're getting to a point to where all the fake intolerance that everybody believes is so prevalent, real intolerance is coming. And I said, real intolerance is not what you think it is. Real intolerance is, no, by law, this law changes. By law, your life becomes uncomfortable. By policy, your life changes. Because there's been so much liberalism infused into politics that, quite frankly, it's been abused. And one of them was like, no, I get what you're saying. Because people, he's like, when I was coming up, things were cool. Everybody knew who was what. We respected each other. Nobody ran anybody's face. Nobody assaulted anybody. It wasn't crazy. It's kind of, we stayed in our own little lanes and did what we did. And he's like, now it's too in your face. It's too down your throat. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. It's too down everybody's throat. It's shoved in your mouth. But when we go to our spirit city charts, we've talked about all these different spirit cities. For somebody new here, I'll just show you what's actually going on, and we'll get back to the news. We talked about the nature of these spiritual cities. You have Babylon, and all these different cities that are on this chart are a mixture of people who have been allowed into America. This is really what the mass immigration did. While yesterday while Donald Trump checked the UN, you let all these different citizens into this nation. So you got Babylonians, Assyrians, you got people from of the Islamic spiritual system, you got Sodom and Gomorrah people, you got people from Bashan, you got, which are the seat of the Nephilim, you got Ninevites, you got Babylonians, you got Anakim, you got Sumerians. All these different spiritual citizens have been allowed into this nation. And therein lies the problem. So when you start talking about Babylonians, it was Babylonians that came against Charlie Kirk. That's what it was. When you go back and look and see the assassination of Charlie Kirk, in Babylon, it was known for doing bestiality. It's Babylonians. In fact, that's not even accurate. Because as more and more information comes out, it seems that guy probably wasn't the shooter. But it was Babylonians that were used as the cover for the murder of Charlie Kirk is a more accurate statement to make. And therein lies a larger problem. If we zoom all the way out, and we go to the larger issue that we face in this nation, the larger issue that we face, and I've said this from the beginning, is that we're under a psychological operation, an attack, where these three groups of people are being actively used to target America. Muslims, LGBT, plus all the other alphabets, which I don't know what they are, and then wokeism. These are the puppets on the string, but at times they're useful idiots as well. In fact, they typically tend to be brainwashed idiots. But this is what's behind them is the kingdom of darkness. What's behind them is when you take the mask off, it's Satan himself in his many different forms, in his many different manifestations. But you know what he's doing, you know what's going on, because the devil comes not but to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. So when you see murder, when you see theft, and when you see destructions, that's what it is. In fact, in the Bible it says, I shall not fear the terror that cometh by night, nor the pestilence that lurketh in darkness, nor the destruction that walketh at noonday. What happened to the ice age today was a destruction that walketh at noonday. That was a destruction. Somebody got shot, that's a destruction. These things are alive. These things are real. Let me get back to the news because I don't want to be going too hard at you guys' neck. But I kind of want you to understand this, because if you're going to pray for your nation, you need to know what you're praying against. You know, people are like, man, I intercede for the nation of America. They be like, God, I ask that you bless our nation and make sure that we're prosperous and make sure that we're safe and make sure that we're fine and we're okay. And Lord, thank you. Meanwhile, you got crazy people like me over there saying, Lord, you the one that said, you had said this, I didn't say this, my king. You the one that said, we shall not fear the terror by night, nor the pestilences that lurk in darkness, nor the destructions that waste at noonday, nor the flaming arrows. Lord, how about this? How about we decree and declare that every pestilence that lurketh in darkness is now brought into the light? How about this? How about every destruction that wastes at noonday? Its timing is off, Lord, that it cannot waste at all. And if there is a destruction that's out there that's moving around to kill a person, Lord, a weapon formed against a person, even though you said no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me, I shall condemn. Let's just say, my king, that there's a destruction that slid by against our nation. How about, Lord, if it's supposed to land at a certain time, at noonday, Lord, how about we shift it to where it doesn't work correctly? How about we offset the time for the destruction, because destructions have a time, my Lord, right? How about we shift the time, Lord? When you start praying like that, when you start hitting on issues like that, with that level of understanding that this is how things work, then you see crazy answers in prayer.
That's I-35. The east side is where you see most of the traffic. People are probably slowing down to watch and see what's going on. Look at all of the police cars there's so many lights that go all the way up to the top of, this is the access road in Texas. You have your main highway, and then you always have those access roads that run alongside or parallel to the highway.
Hey, Griff, I also noticed that some people are reporting the sniper was on a rooftop. Have you heard that?
So we don't have that confirmed ourselves, but I'm talking directly to ICE authorities, and we're going to learn more about that. But I did see a local report that there would be a rooftop. And Brian, as you look at both the map on our screen as well as the surrounding area of the law enforcement response, you can see several rooftops. And for anyone that's, been to a facility like this, the Sally Port is sort of the wide open garage where you bring detainees, excuse me, not just in ICE, but in law enforcement, the police station, if you will. There's a place where they bring these people to be processed in. And so if indeed this individual was able to find a rooftop with a direct line of sight into that Sally Port, that would be tremendously dangerous. But we'll learn more, I guess, as we hear from the ICE authorities directly.
So just big picture as we zoom in on this story, Griff, this is the second facility in Texas to be attacked where an agent has been shot. We don't know if an agent was shot in this case, but it's the second attack that we've experienced in Texas. They had started to reinforce some of these buildings, bring in more assets to protect them, yet something like this still happens, Griff.
Yeah, and it's a great point that you raise, Lawrence, because I think what you will likely see, and we're already seeing it. Remember, I was on the first couple of days out in Chicago for Operation Midway Blitz, and the ICE facility there, the Broadview facility, if you will, the protesters could get right up to the gate. I'm hearing that they're already, even before this morning, starting to harden that perimeter around that for fears of attacks. And remember, we have heard from ICE officials time and time again that it is the Democrat rhetoric, some of the hateful rhetoric towards ICE agents that drives incidents just like the one we're watching tragically play out this morning on our screens. And that's why they are trying to secure these areas even more so from potential threats, as you've got, as I mentioned, 1,000% plus increase on assaults on agents.
I'm sorry. I go back to what I said originally. You got to stop playing with these people. Like, it can't be, because all it takes is one of them they give cover for everything. The useful idiots give cover for every other form of destruction. So all it takes is a bunch of useful idiots to be out there and somebody blow up a bomb at an ICE facility. This is why you like pro-Palestine, pre-free Palestine marches. All that shit's got to stop. I'm sorry. Oh, we got the right to the First Amendment, man. You got the right to say what you want to say, but you got the right to protest. But see, this bullshit where you coming out as a terrorist organization, weaponizing the Constitution for your own sake. No, this is why you have the CIA. This is why we have the CIA. This is why you have black budget programs for situations like this. This is why you have skin peelers employed by the government. This is why you have Guantanamo Bay. And I understand. I really do understand that, like, the public has to see this because people are ungrateful. If you just come in and you solve the problem and you fix the problem overnight, boom, disappear all the people, it'll be more questions. The public has to get to the point to where they're disgusted with it, where everyone says, man, this is enough. What the hell is going on with these people? I get it. But there has to be, there's got to be a balance. People need to get started get black bag, man. They got to start getting black bag. But Hillary Clinton did it. Barack Hussein Obama did it to journalists. Donald gonna have to start black bagging people. Somebody say, well, man, you're calling for citizens to be black bag. No, I'm calling for terrorists to be black bag. Citizens who've been radicalized and have become terrorists to be black bag. If you go from the point and you look at the process of radicalization, you can document their radicalization. They come home, they come from high school, and they're like a normal person. Hold on. All these people be talking this trash about the Matrix, right? And how people like, oh, we're living in the Matrix. It's primarily bald head boy. But watch this. We're going to use Jasmine Crockett as a perfect example. This is a perfect example of how you end up being weaponized, how you end up becoming a damn terrorist. I mean, it is what it is. You become a radical terrorist. She's the perfect example of it. Let's listen to her before she gets into politics, this particular Democratic brand of politics, and think of it as different strands of a virus. Like she's on the I want black woman, a powerful black women strand of the virus of wokeism. And these different strands, these different vaccines of wokeism that you can take by what you listen to, who you watch, they lead to different results. Some of them lead to you dressing up in furry costumes and running around sleeping with guys that say they're women. Other ones lead to you just being ratchet and ghetto. Other ones lead to you being violent. Other ones lead to you being unemployed to where you can spend all day outside of an ICE facility trying to fight cops. But all of it is radicalization. It's no different than you become like a radical Islamic terrorist. Now they're radical liberal terrorists, extreme left terrorists. And it needs to be dealt with.
First of all, it's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress.
Maybe because these people, they are crazy, because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things. Yeah, you ain't got to believe me. Just go Google. You'll find some of it. I'm telling you, and the wives is being messy and petty. They putting it in.
First of all, it's good to see you in the
I didn't mean to click that, but you see what I'm saying? It's what happens because it's a virus. It's a process. It's a conversion. It's a damn violent extremist religion. It's why them and Islam can kind of gel until Islam gets tired of them. Islam is like, no, we don't have enough people on the planet. In 2060, there'll be 5 billion Muslims on the planet. So now we'll wait to 2060, and then we're gonna chop off all y'all heads. So let's let the blacks that are woke run around, even though we sold them into slavery, and we're the reason why they're here. We'll let them run around and we won't say anything, and we'll let the gays and lesbians run around. We won't throw them off roofs right now. Let them march on the behalf of Palestine. We're not gonna throw them off the roof right now. While we can run around and burn down churches. It's extremism, and it must be stopped. Back to the story in the news.
Also, think about this. The cops responded to a shooting at an ICE facility. In certain cities, it's very hard to get the cops to respond to ICE. They're not allowed to coordinate. In situations like this, even if this was a sanctuary city, they would respond, though, right?
100%, Brian. Listen, when shots ring out, every law enforcement officer is going to run towards it because that's what they're sworn to do, to protect and uphold the law. But, whether or not it's a sanctuary city or not, you certainly draw a line when any violence, not just shootings, but obviously even the assaults. It's something that I think you are going to see ICE respond to very strongly today in public statements about not tolerating this sort of attack.
So just some background here. I know yesterday in Fort Worth, Texas, which is a suburb of the DFW Metroplex, there was a big operation from ICE yesterday. So tensions were already high, had protesters out there on the scene as well, Griff. We're hearing preliminarily, we don't know for sure, we cannot confirm, but this is the high levels of ICE, that they're thinking that 3 of the detainees were the people that are shot. Are you learning anything about that, Griff?
We can't confirm that, but I am hearing similar reporting from that, Lawrence. And, when I spoke right before I came on the air, ICE was very clear to explain, we don't know this individual's motive. But what we do know is this was a clear attack on ICE, and shots were fired as in the Sally Port, the agents were bringing detainees in. So it is very possible indeed that this was an attack directly on ICE and that detainees have been struck. Hopefully, everyone that is struck will be okay. We just don't know any of the details yet, and we'll bring them to you as fast as we get them.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting story, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. It's going to be a very interesting story to follow. So either they was trying to whack ICE agents, or ICE picked up some people that somebody didn't want to talk, and they targeted them and whacked them while they were in the hands of ICE. But I don't see any more information out here on it. Hold on, let me go check real quick. I want to move on to another point to show you the radicalization of people. Now, you know that Robert Kennedy Jr. just came out and said that the reason for for autism among children is because high use of Tylenol amongst women when they're pregnant, right? Now, do we know that to be true? I mean, if they tell me trust the science on the vaccines and I didn't trust that, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I don't trust this about autism and Tylenol either. I need to see documents. I need to see studies. I do know that, you give a kid 250 shots from age 1 to 5, something going to happen to that kid. 250 doses of anything is going to hurt the kid. So I'll say this. I'm not settled on whether this is 100% true or not. It doesn't matter if it's 100% true. But the question is, we're talking about radicalization. If you are pregnant, ladies, and they told you taking something is bad for your pregnant kid, would you run out and take it? Would you even risk taking it? They say, oh, no. You're 6 months pregnant, and in salt, this particular type of salt is bad for your child. Would you go and start drinking salt water of that salt? No, you wouldn't. This is how you know people have been radicalized. Because why?
And then it got really crazy. There's apparently pregnant women on the internet bragging about taking Tylenol. And you can see her there. Multiple bottles. There are a lot of these videos. She is not alone. We could show them to you for the next 25 minutes till the show was over. Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health, former White House COVID-19 response coordinator, is with us. Probably not a good idea to be downing Tylenol just to own the president, right?
Yeah. First of all, Leland, thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
No, look, you should take Tylenol if you have a fever, if you have pain. Talk to your doctor first. You shouldn't do things to own the president or for any political purpose. It's just not a good idea.
I wrote an op-ed about this in the Wall Street Journal and said that, forget the politics in this. It's too important. The search for a cause of autism is so important. I'm autistic. RFK Jr. is right to hunt for root causes. Now, the New York Times turned that down. It was first pitched to them, but they were more than happy to publish this. This may be the most difficult day in my career. Experts react to Trump's autism remarks. And what I can't figure out is why so many people seem to be against asking these questions, funding these questions, and being willing to have this discussion.
Because it's a whole damn religion. It's a whole damn religion. The only time you see people not willing to entertain questions is when it's a spiritual thing. It's the reason why when you talk to someone who's a Muslim and you're a Christian, or you try and convert them from Islam to Christianity, they get angry and they want to rebel because they don't want to hear what you got to say. The same thing when I talk to people who were into Satanism. It's like, if they don't like what you got to say, they want to kill you. And they'll kill themselves in the process. It's radicalization of American people. And the tolerance level for this stuff has to stop. So, for example, if I'm President Donald Trump and I see your dumb ass popping Tylenol pills after we just told you that Tylenol can give your child autism, I'm sending social services to your damn house. I would have somebody say, find all these women that's taking this Tylenol and send social services to their damn house. You want to prove me wrong, but you so want to prove me wrong that you're willing to damage your child. And in fact, damage your own damn body by taking too much Tylenol. And then what's worse than that is this. This makes it even worse. As an employer, if I'm sitting at my computer and somebody email me one of my employees who's pregnant, who's popping Tylenol and dancing, I'm popping Tylenol and like screw Trump, screw this. I can't trust you with nothing in my business. You can't be trusted with taking care of the life inside of your belly. The God-given life you've been responsible for. I can't trust you with anything that belongs to me. No, hell no. It's insanity. That's all it boils. It's just pure on insanity. Look, I'm getting worked up. I want to go into Chicago and how now Chicago. Let's go there. But this is going to piss me off even more because I don't know if you're aware of the fact that now Chicago is calling for because they have a budget shortage. Now Chicago is saying they need to cut the numbers of police on their police force. It's crazy. And the Negroes vote for it and agree with it. Not all of them. You got Flip Chicago Red who's saying, no, we're not going to do it. But if everybody in Chicago was Flip Chicago Red, it's almost one of those things. Hold on. Here we go to the Chicago news. So as they go into budget cuts, they want the police department to figure out how they're going to cut $92 million. $92 million. And like I was saying, there's a group out of Chicago called Flip Chicago Red. I've been trying to get that young lady on for the longest. I don't even know how. I've been struggling to get in contact with her, but nonetheless, that doesn't matter. The point I'm making is this. At some point in time, the people in Chicago are going to have to come to their senses. But I don't think they're ready yet. I don't think Chicago's going to be ready till it's Mad Max time. I'm talking about buildings burning, bodies laid spew out into the street, blood gushing everywhere. It's going to take that level of violence for Chicago to get ready. Just craziness. Because this is common sense stuff. That's why, you remember I did this video where there was this lady and she was talking about, she was like, Donald, I know what you're trying to do. You want to go and try and help these people, but F them. Let them bury their children. She said, F them. Let them bury their children. Let them have their balloons. Let them have their teddy bears. They don't care about their children. And that's the truth of the matter. The only time it seems as if people actually care about the children in their city is when somebody white kills one of them. Yeah. In fact, with that thought process in mind, it would be better for some random white cop to roll down the street and shoot a white criminal than for them to have budget cuts. I know you may be thinking, well, DW, that don't make no sense. If a random white cop shoots a black dude, then they're going to be more budget cuts. No. You might as well just get the damn city to burn now. Why wait 3 years for the city to burn? Why wait 6 years? Just the event needs to happen where the city burns, because that's where it's headed. Oh man, you can't say that. No, that's the road you're headed down, man.
As the city council heads into budget season, department heads are facing tough questions about their spending. The police department has been asked to come up with $92 million in cuts, something the superintendent says would have an impact. Police Superintendent Larry Snelling taking his turn in the budget hot seat today, telling city council members that the department is well aware of the current budget crisis and he realizes CPD will have to do its part, but he has concerns.
I want to be very careful and cautious about where we cut and what we do so that it doesn't affect the progress that we're making right now and the safety of the city.
Before the hearing, advocates gathered outside demanding that money allocated for unfilled police positions be reallocated for public health and community care.
So we have a system that is broken and we need to fix it. And the only place where we can find the money to fix it right now is in the police department.
There were concerns about police overtime as well.
I think when you got a $1.5 billion deficit, you've got to look at every department. And so what I've called for isn't necessarily cutting, but auditing at the very least, right? Are we spending the money as effectively as possible?
The police department has already racked up $28 million more than the $100 million it's budgeted for overtime due to a multitude of major events. The superintendent saying organizers like NASCAR, which had its own inside security, helped defray police overtime, suggesting other event hosts might need to do the same. Snelling said he is concerned that meeting the suggested $92 million in cuts could hurt public safety, with the department already short nearly 1,000 officers.
We still have a lot of work to do. We're going in the right direction. It's going to take some time. And we just have to make sure that our department is properly staffed to get that done.
And
did they just say they short 1,000 officers? 1,000 officers? Hey, man, I guess that Black Lives Matter, defund the police worked out real well for them. Yeah, it worked out real well for them. I couldn't be a police superintendent. I would just get my retirement and I would go home. I would be sitting there saying, all right, how much time I got till retirement? Let me get my retirement, I'm gone. Because this don't make no damn sense. And then they had the Latino girl that come out there. And you notice they always have this demonic smile on their face. Let's go back to it. Here she comes. And I'm going to explain something else to you. You see, this is how you know it's a spirit talking behind a person. Because when they start talking, a part of you wants to smile at it. It's like they'll start talking. It's almost like the smile is infectious. It's because it's a damn spirit on the person. You can feel the smile. Gavin Newsom does it all the time. You'll see Gavin Newsom. That's a damn spirit on him. That's a damn Antichrist spirit on him. Watch.
Public health and community care.
So we have a system that is broken and we need to fix it. And the only place where we can find the money to fix it right now is in the police department.
There were concerns about police overtime as well.
I think when you got a
damn demon smiles. Let me turn the volume down. And then I'm going to stop. Because I know sometimes I'll be boring y'all with this. But I was telling you, one of the things that you got to have is discernment. And this is how you develop it, by watching and seeing these things. Oh my goodness, I wish my nose stopped running. That damn demon. Look at the one behind her. Look at that one right there. Look at that one right there. Look at that demon right there. Oh, girl, we need to defund the police. And this one right here. Defund the police. We need the money in our community. Our nonprofits need that money. Kill, die, murder, kill, die, die. Murder, murder, kill, kill, die, die. Murder, murder, kill, kill, die, die. That's what you see right there. That's what you see right there. A Latino Jezebel named Sanchez. Behind closed doors, they back there like this, bleeding themselves. I'm going to tell you something, Chicago. You keep on letting that blood spill in your city the way it's spilling. Y'all keep on coming in agreement with that blood shedding the way it's shedding. And not doing nothing about it. Boy, God gonna punish y'all. Oh, he gonna punish y'all. You don't see that thing? Look at it. That's enough of this, man. It's actually retarded. These people freaking retarded, man. It's just high levels of retardium everywhere. Yeah, super high levels of retardium all over the place. I mean, it is just retardium. It's like people, like they've been injected. This is methylene blue, by the way. But it's almost like they said, okay, I found the perfect form of retardium. Yes. Let me take it. One dropper of retardium. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.